Bounce Gang.
All right, everybody, welcome to the next episode of Fresh Mondays podcast. This is episode number 61, right?
Yes. 61.
Yes, and we want to say thank you to everyone who listened to episode 60. We had J.R. Rivera on the episode, and he was a great motivation, super nice guy, really inspiring, gave people all kinds of gems. Make sure to check out that episode and make sure to check out his book.
Yes. Thank you for J.R. Rivera. I really, after that conversation, really, I love a little more motivational, spiritual, kind of like guiding lights of kind of people. So he's a really great conversation to have with. And of course, the things that he's doing with the community are fantastic as well. So appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
And so this week, we take a little turn to our sort of old ways, if you used to join the past previous seasons. And we're going to have a discussion that's really been taking over the internet. A discussion that I think in a larger spectrum has occurred to many of us in other different ways, right? I think some of us have been in these circumstances young and dumb in some sort of ways. So this episode, we are talking about the most recent episode of the Red Table Talk, alongside the long history that is Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson, and that dilemma.
Right, and some of you might be asking, oh, why are we feeding into the nonsense? Why are we talking about, these Kardashian girls and et cetera, et cetera? At the end of the day, these people have a social impact on society. Huge. Let's be honest, guys. They were covering this scandal with Jordyn Woods heavier than like anything that was going on in the government.
Yeah, it was a little much. It was a little drastic.
It was to the point that like every single time I would turn on my social media, especially Instagram, it was a new update on Jordyn Woods and a new update on Khloe leaving Tristan and Tristan this and Khloe that. And it's like, yo, like I honestly was taken back by the way the country paid attention to this scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Like these people, like it's to the point that I'm not going to be surprised if these women are involved in the next election. I like real shit. Like they make people shift. Like it's like unbelievable. Like, you know what this also teaches me? That the Kardashians are like the royal family. Just like in England, that everybody covers absolutely everything they do. The paparazzi's up their ass and they can't breathe and all this other stuff. And I feel like they are our version of that. And like we are obsessed with what they do, even though people can stand them and hate them, like we're obsessed with them. And it just goes to show that society always has to have a family that they look up to.
That's true. I never saw it in that light. But what's interesting, I think, for us, we also want to take a break. I find reality things so I watch everything on Bravo, everything, Housewives related. Those are my weekly kind of like escapes from the real world and what's happening. So I think that's why sometimes it kind of gets over escalated, especially social media is you can create your own kind of flow of what your timeline looks like, I guess, in a sense. But
you can create a narrative.
You can create your own narrative because you can unfollow certain things, so you can see what you want and kind of shift it in that way. But I see the light that you say within that royal family where they don't really do much because royal family doesn't do anything in London, in England, but they are impactful in a certain way in a social setting. And you're right, they may have some parts to do in the future, in the long run with, Kim already has her foot in government participation in certain things, right? Kind of already having those conversations and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised in different scalabilities if they start, sponsoring some candidates and being forefront and a lot of celebrities do. They kind of do a lot of representation for certain candidates. But I think there is something to have a conversation about in all of this, because I have a lot of thoughts on the Jordyn Woods part, and I think it becomes a little bit, because it is such a personal thing of your friends and those like that are in your inner circle having something to do with it, makes it intriguing as well.
Right. It was definitely a shocker. I know the first time it broke, I was like, what? Jordyn? Like, it was just like, no way. Like, that's wild.
I was like, first thing I wrote to someone, it was like, that can't be real. I was like, that can't be for real.
Right.
But like, that's extreme. I mean, it's extreme. So for those of you who don't know, Jordyn Woods is a close and very good friend of, I can't even think of the name. Kylie.
Well, Kylie. Yeah. Her best friend.
Her best friend. I mean, she lives with the girl. She gave her a car. She was the first one to know she was pregnant, kept the pregnancy a secret for however long, although we knew. So she was a really close confidant of these Kardashians, this family. And recently, in a couple of weeks ago, or last week, earlier this week, it broke that Jordyn Woods and Tristan Thompson, who is the father and boyfriend of Khloe Kardashian, had hooked up in some sort of way, sexually, or kissing all over each other. And that news broke and sent Twitter and Instagram the news for a complete and utter disarray of this happening. So initially, I want to know your thoughts, Diana, on that. On your best friend, right? Your best friend does something to your sibling. Let's start there. Your best friend does something to your sibling. What are your thoughts?
Regardless of how close you are, at the end of the day, when it's blood, it's like, you just can't. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. And like, I hate to say that out loud because I would hate to ever be in that position. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's literally like your best friend is your sister. Like, It really feels that way. It's like, yo, you're like the sister I chose. You're like the sister I have willingly decided to trust you like that. And it's like, for women specifically, I'm not too sure if men can relate, but maybe our ladies can relate. When you have that special bond with a friend and like that girl's your home girl, like that shit feels emotional. That shit feels like earth shattering when you guys have a fight, when you guys stop talking, when you guys, have a fallout, or you let that person down. Like, it's a relationship. Like, it's a relationship, and at times it's a stronger relationship than any boyfriend you've ever had in your life.
Yes.
Because this person has been your friend, has seen you, has been in your life for, if you're blessed, 20, 30, 40 years. Like, that's like big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, a lot of people probably don't believe in best friends, but when you have identified a person as your best friend and you've committed to that individual in that sense, like, you don't want to lose that person. You know what I mean? Like, it's through thick and thin, and this person becomes your support system. They become everything to you. And for you to be put in a place where you now hurt my sister, it's like, damn, yo, like, you did the worst thing. Like, you did the one thing I can't forgive you for, So it's like, I feel for Kylie in this situation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, fuck, like, how can you put me in this position? That's what I mean. And like, I can, regardless of it was true or not, and we'll get into that later, she put Kylie in a position that you just left me no choice. You left me no choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's, and we don't know at the end of the day if they end up friends, still remain close. But in that circumstance, you do put someone in a hard space, because I brought you into my family, this family that is very protective, and trying to, and if you could say protective, but it is a family that has a lot of history, a long line of betrayals and things like that, and trying to keep things tight and close. And you only see them around each other in sense, and people come in and out, right. But they try to keep it kind of what it looks like, kind of like still them. And right. To be like, damn, I brought you in and you just were so dishonest and did something so terrible to my family. I don't know if I could still have you around my family, because now you can't be around my sisters. You can't be around my boyfriend. You can't be around my niece's, boyfriend. Like, there's all these things that you just can't be around us anymore because we can't trust you.
Right.
So I do feel that Kylie must be taking it hard.
Right.
Real tough.
Mm-hmm.
Because you lost your best friend. You lost a sister at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that person was living with you, was around you. So
she was probably closer to her than her sisters.
Yeah. In a way, I can just imagine. Yeah. I can only imagine. Have you ever had someone kind of betray you in that way? Has that ever occurred to you?
I have never, thankfully, knock on wood, I've never had like a best friend like do something really, really terrible to me. Like, wow, like that was terrible. I've had people do things to me, but never a person that was like considered that person.
Yeah.
But I have lost my best friend before.
Oh.
And that shit is heartbreaking. Like, it's like, it feels like someone died. And it's like, I know I can relate in that sense. Not in the sense of betrayal, but I can relate in the sense of that level of disappointment that you feel when you lose your best friend. Like, that shit feels like worse than a breakup.
Yeah, that, and I think even breakups are losing a best friend.
Yeah.
Right? Like, breakups are still losing that best friend. And however that breakup was still some sort of way, some sort of betrayal, some sort of disappointment, or grow apart or something like that. That is losing your best friend. For myself, I think in a breakup more setting, I've lost a best friend, but not in, like you, I've had people do something wrong or like kind of grind me, and you're just like, you kind of shook me the wrong way. Girl, I ain't texting you no more as a friend, or like, we ain't doing close, cool things no more. But never betrayed in that way.
Yeah.
I think that would be heavier. That would be a lot. And so after the news broke of Jordyn kissing or whatever, we'll talk about what she said on Red Table Talk. The news broke that they were seen at a house party and getting kind of close and together and all up on each other. And so...
And she left the next day.
She left the next day.
Which was the big mamma jamma for me. That's what I would have been like, bitch, but you slept there. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
The story goes that she said on Red Table Talk was they were at a previous party. They then went to, here's the key word that I caught on to. They went to his house. That was just a key word that registered to me because it meant a lot.
Why were there a bunch of bitches going to his house? Period.
It's an LA thing, I'm assuming. LA does a lot more of those kickbacks and back, but why are they going to your house?
What I'm saying, okay, here's my question. Were her and Tristan broken up?
And that's the thing, because she says we went to his house. So y'all have two different houses? I thought you were engaged, or, I mean, to each their own, right?
I mean, I just don't know. I guess I'm not that modern, but I just don't understand how I can be okay with my boyfriend partying with like 12 bitches at any house. You feel me?
Yes. Yes.
At like 3 a.m. Like, I just, that shit don't sit well with my soul. So it's like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Why is there 12 bitches around you at night at 3 a.m. after drinking all night? Like, what is going on? And why am I not there? Like, it's just like, there's so many layers to me understanding how we even got to the point that this is happening. Exactly. So I'm assuming they're on a break because I can't comprehend. Like, we don't got money like that. So maybe we don't know.
No, because we got to share homes. Right. We don't be getting married, or we're going to have children. We have bills to pay together. We don't live separated if we're not together. That's it.
I'm assuming they're not together. They were on a break or they're not together. I don't know. That's the only way that this makes sense to me. Because I don't know one man has the permission to bring 12 bitches back to the house after drinking all night. I just don't know.
No one. I don't think anyone. So they went to his house for a kickback. She said that they did sit next to each other. Phones were taken away from everyone. She says she was not aware phones were taken away because obviously her phone won't be the one being taken away. Mm-hmm. She did say that she put her legs, because Jada asked her, And so, FYI, to fill y'all in, Jordyn Woods is very close, pretty much goddaughter of Will and Jada Smith, the Smiths.
The Smiths.
Black Hollywood.
Black Hollywood.
Real life, celebrities, do
Absolutely.
things kind of people.
Top of the food chain.
Top.
Yeah.
Top. So major players out here. And little did we know, she's just out here, that's her family pretty much.
Right. And I appreciated the clarification as to why Jaden Smith is so close to them and how this all happened. And that gave me clarity. And I was like, oh, now I understand how these families.
I thought they were just a bunch of kids out in Calabasas that just know each other. It makes sense.
A bunch of rich kids, right.
A bunch of rich kids who know each other. No, this is like, these are family ties that are occurring. Right. And so what's amazing to see is that like the Smiths were like, oh no, y'all ain't taking down my niece and putting her out here. Right? Like imagine your mom would be like, no.
I know exactly. I know exactly what they did. I know exactly what they did. Yeah. They were like, all right, wrong, yes. But you ain't gonna take her, like you ain't gonna drag her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they did.
Yes.
That's what they did.
They were like, you're not gonna drag this 21-year-old girl, putting her all in the tabloids like y'all are as grown-ass adults all the time and start putting her on blast. Right. We're gonna take our niece, our goddaughter, whatever, and we're gonna make sure we fix this and putting her in the best, and not in the best light, but make sure her story is told.
Right.
And that they don't run the narrative, because what Kardashians do, they run the narrative of everything.
For sure.
So shout outs to the Smiths for taking control of that ASAP. That is some PR. That is amazing. They don't teach you that in school, kind of PR.
Right.
So in this case, Jada asked her, what happened? And she said, I was drunk. We had some drinks. I got close. How do you feel of the part where she says, I put my leg over his legs?
Okay. I first and foremost interpreted that as a nice way of saying that she was being flirtatious with him the whole night. I took that like you guys were flirting the whole night, and the reason people were speculating things is because you guys were vibing out and you were flirting with him.
Yeah.
That's truly what I believe. I believe that she was flirting with him and that was part of her flirting. Whether or not she intended to like make it move forward, I think that she can be accused of being flirtatious with him. Yeah, that's what I think. Because ultimately, you know how sometimes I don't know her personally, so I don't know. But you know, in some circumstances, women like that energy.
Yes.
You understand?
You can feed off of each other.
Right.
When you're in a flirtatious mood, and even if drinks are involved or not, a flirtatious move goes between the two.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're playing off of each other. And you can play off of each other all night. We can do this all night being flirtatious. Because
right. Even if nothing happens, it's just like that vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I took it like, okay, there was a vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I took it. And I even felt that in what she was saying. Like there was a little vibe. And maybe this is the Dominican side, maybe. But no, bitch. No, you can't put your legs on him. No.
But is it, okay, does it excuse the fact that she's 21? Is that an excuse? Is that like, I mean, put yourself in 21 and he's only 26. I just learned. I thought he was in his 30s because Chloe's 30 something.
Well, he's very young. I don't know he was that young.
He's like 28 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So what was my question?
Do I excuse her behavior because she's 21?
Because she's 21.
Okay, let me put it to you like this.
The flirtatiousness, right? Like the whole...
I hear you, but like I come from an old school type of vibe where it's like not with your dude. You feel me? Like if it's once that's your dude, ya. Se acabó la vaina, ese corito raro, muy pasada. Like it's over for that. It's over for that. Like it's to the point that I'm so like that it's like I turn that part of me off when it comes to your dude. Like, I'm not saying that if it was another dude, whatever, and I'm chilling and I'm single and I'm young, fine. Pero, like, your dude, your man, Like, I'm not even going to open up the opportunity for us to create that type of attraction towards one another, because you can control that.
And there's a difference between having fun with friends, and if he's a friend and you can kiki and joke and blah, 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 flirtatiousness is another step, and you can see it, right? And it's a felt kind of interaction, and others can feel the flirtatiousness. Not that, no, they were just having fun, haha, kiki. No, they were flirting, having fun. That's another scale of it. And I think that's really what it is. And I've
been in those. She should have not been sitting on the arm of the chair where he was sitting on.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have. Like,
all the chairs in this big ass mansion, and you chose that one?
Right.
That's the one next to that player? You mean to tell me there were no other Cleveland Cavaliers or Lakers in that room that you could have sat next to the whole damn time?
Well, you could have got yourself an actual dude, because your ass has been single for quite some time.
Yeah, like, pick another one. All the basketball players in all of California. So she says that occurs. She then says she got super, super drunk, right? And he suggested, from my understanding, or her friend or somebody,
for her to spend the night for safety reasons.
For safety purposes. Fine. California is tough to drive in. Okay. But if you have drivers.
We've all been drunk, and we've all been in that place where maybe I shouldn't drive.
Yes, and I'm going to stay somewhere. I'm just going to stay here. Here's the catch. At the end, when she was leaving the house, she says nothing happened in the house. But she said when she was leaving, the driver was there for her to go. And as she was walking out, he kissed her.
Right. He walked her out and kissed her.
Walked her out and kissed her. For me, that was another trigger, like another key word that just triggered me. Most men, in my experiences, don't usually kiss you as they're walking out unless they've kind of done it before, right? Comfortable with it. 2, do it when they're trying to reel you back in. Like, you know, when you're trying to go to work, and he'd be like, don't go to work, don't go to work. And he just try to bring you back in to call out. Like, you know what I mean? Like them little moments, and you're just like, man, like, stop, I gotta go. I feel like it was like that. Does that make sense?
I also, just based off of her reaction, I totally get what you're saying. But with that, I'm going to piggyback and say he didn't feel like it was the wrong move.
He felt comfortable.
Like, he felt comfortable. Like, I know he's a creep, because I really, really do not think that he's not a creep. I think he's a creep ass motherfucker. And like, he needs to be in the trash. Like, he's a creep. But I don't think he's like a fucking deviant. You know what I mean? That's like out here, like, forcing himself. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the interpretation that I even got off of her energy when she was telling the story. Mm-hmm. She was on some shit like, I gotta go. I'm sorry, honey. I am old enough to tell you, honey, when you tell a guy like, yo, I gotta go, it's because, like, if I don't go, I might fuck this night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. You feel me? Like, why didn't you say that? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you say, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Why are you? Because that wasn't her reaction. Her reaction was, it's time for me to go.
You know what? I never saw it that way. You're
right.
right.
I was like, what you mean? Why did you spaz on this guy? Why did you say, hold up, chill, don't do that. That wasn't cool. Like, I know 12-year-old girls that would say that and say, no, I wasn't comfortable. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So it's like, why didn't you say something? Like, why didn't you say something to him and say, yo, like, I don't know, maybe we was vibing, but, you know, I ain't with it. Or, nah, chill, you wildin'. Anything. She was awesome, like, I gotta go.
It was too calm. It was too just.
Oh, I can't blame him. He was trying to shoot his shot. Why was he trying to shoot his shot? Because you was giving this nigga lights. Like, you was giving him a yellow light, at least. Like, it's just like, I refuse to believe that this guy was just this predator that grabbed her and kissed her in the mouth. Like, I don't even think that's what she said.
No, that's not even how she described it. She described it. You're right. As you put it in that perspective, like, there was a comfortability. And that's what I'm saying. Like, no one's just gonna kiss you as you're walking out the door. It's the end of the day. The shit is over and done. Usually men are just like, all right, later, girl. Right. Or they're kissing you goodbye as you're leaving.
Or he would have been working on the next chick that he could have probably smashed because he got money.
Yeah, or he's kissing you because he wants you to come back in and not leave, right? Like, so that's why I was like, this is so just interesting. Interesting. And the fact that and what I feel for her in a sense is like she has to describe and explain all this. Mm-hmm. When if it was just another guy, anything else, we wouldn't have really been so like, it wouldn't have crossed nobody's mind.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely feel bad for the cyberbullying and the crucifixion of her.
And I think that's what brings it so much attention, because there were tweets that Chloe's sending out, which didn't, and her friends, that really didn't help the circumstance and the situation, right? It became more, we're like, you're picking at this girl who's 21, you're playing us by saying like, oh, she broke up my family, when in actuality, you weren't even together.
At least it seems that way.
And from what it looks like.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make it worse on top of what it is already. Right. And making her a bad character in your situation. Right? And people fail to remember he's actually a lot more in the wrong.
Oh, yeah.
In all this.
Oh, yeah. 100. Because at the end of the day, if you share an intimate relationship with someone and you two decide that you're going to love one another and like that's the person you lay in bed with and that's the person you decide to have a child with, all those things, you two have a responsibility to one another, regardless of any outside parties that are trying to get in or get out or whatever the case may be. It's your responsibility as my other half to not allow things like this to happen. So I 100%, regardless that she used poor judgment, and maybe it was because of her age, maybe it was because she felt comfortable because this is a guy that is part of the family and whatever her reasoning was, he needs to take responsibility for disrespecting his family.
Yeah. Even if you did take the cell phones away, you knew you were going to be in the wrong of something.
Why would you take the cell phones away? That's suspect.
That's more suspect of like something, what you knew something was going to go down, something was going to happen. And I know that it's usual that it's more in a likelihood that a lot of phones get taken away, NDAs get signed in those circumstances and those kind of parties. But even with that, you have to try harder to hide the shit that you're doing. And
he didn't even have to hide it because this bitch was part of the family. Like the last person, she didn't even say it when it happened. If it wasn't for the fact that somebody else said something, nobody would have even known this happened.
That's true. That is
so
true.
When she was confronted, she said she didn't tell the truth. So it's like, if it didn't blow up, like this would have never even came out. And I feel like that's where it's a possibility that the Kardashian Jenner family may have had an issue. It's not necessarily only the fact that it happened. It's the fact that when we asked you, now that's gonna jeopardize how I trust what you're saying, because when we asked you, you didn't say anything. But I get it, because I know how it feels when you're gonna hurt someone's feelings and you really don't want to, and then you lie to protect them. And I understand that that's possibly what she was trying to do.
Yeah, so she removed certain parts of what was going on and what occurred. And that leads me to the tweets that Chloe was putting out. So she called her, saying that she was lying, that, you're not telling the truth. You never actually called me or talked to me when it happened. Because Jordyn says that in Red Table Talk that she did give her a call and talk to Kylie as well and have this conversation, but did omit certain things out of the situation. And I think in that circumstance, I mean, again, you're 21, you're scared of shit. You just kissed and slept at the house of your best friend's sister's baby daddy. And that's a lot. I can only imagine that's a lot. So going to what Chloe had said, she also says she was She says, what's harder and more painful is being hurt by someone so close to me, someone whom I love and treat and see like a little sister. But Jordyn is not to blame. It's the fault of Tristan. Jordyn is not to be blamed for the breakup of my family. This was Tristan's fault. Because earlier in the week, Khloe said, Jordyn, you are the reason my family is not broken up. And I found that hard to believe. Because back in 2018, we saw Tristan out and about, very comfortable with other women when Khloe was almost 9 months pregnant.
Right.
And he was out in the club doing his thing.
You can understand that Khloe was probably very emotional about this. And she probably said things out of emotions as well. Like, it's not easy to absorb all this information and not necessarily have a reaction. Like, I think that it's not even, it's unhuman to ask of a person to not have an emotional reaction.
She's deserving of having these lash outs, kind of, in a sense.
In a way, you can understand it.
Yeah, like, it's not, you know, that you're putting extra sauce on the tweet and what you're saying because you're a little bit upset, not because initially you know that's the fact and the truth.
She's human. Like, she's human and she's embarrassed. You know? That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
I feel for Jordyn. And I think as I put myself in the shoes of a 21-year-old, you make a lot of large mistakes. I mean, think of yourself between 18 to 30, because I'm going to give us till 30, to make some out of pocket mistakes, you know, learning lessons,
poor judgment,
missteps, poor judgment. Those things kind of happen. I kind of would think you would put more thought into things when you know this guy from someone else, because that is the wrong guy to do that flirtatious with.
I think the best advice I can give anyone, it's hard enough to do this adult shit and regular shit. Just avoid situations with people that are connected to people you love. Like, everything else is just so hard. Like, it's just like, it's hard to always behave. It's hard to not fuck up. It's hard to not drop the ball. And once, let's say someone that's like there's probably, Jordyn, in your life, maybe 10 women that you have to consider out of the billion that live on the planet. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, out of these 10 women, because that's how I live my life, out of these 10 women that I have to take in considerations, your guys are dead to me. Your guys are dead to me.
Yes.
And period. Like, that's the safest thing to do in life. Like, these 10 guys are the only 10 guys
in far distance.
Dead. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to hang out with you by myself. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to get all whatever with you. I'm not going to be sitting on your legs. Like, I'm just not going to even set that situation up, because at the end of the day, I'm not even going to risk it. I'm not even going to risk it, because I'm not doubting myself or my loyalty, but I'm also not going to put myself in a position that it could possibly happen. Like, I'm not going to text your man, Marley, like, to talk about shit. Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. For
like random little conversations or like different things like that. No,
we're going to text like, oh, when is the engagement party? What color does she like?
Things you're doing for me.
There. What time do you need me to be there? Yes, I'll get the tuna salad.
She like.
Right.
You know, he texting you to say, what's her favorite color? I fucking forgot. Tell me something. Yes. You know, let's have those conversations are fantastic. I'm comfortable with that, because I myself have comfortability in, you have to be comfortable sometimes also with your friends.
Yeah.
Not comfortable. What's the other word?
You have to like
trust,
have confidence
in them, that if you're in communication with my boyfriend, I'm not going to be all jumpy and like, because that gives you a whole nother thing. You don't have trust within your relationship,
right?
For your man and for your friends or any relationships that you have. So those are different. And, but there are boundaries right? To where you take that trust. There are boundaries within relationships and various relationships. So I definitely see where you're going with, where you have to be fully aware that certain things are off limits. And if you're that kind of man or girl who doesn't see boundaries, you got to go from the circle.
It's just as simple as if you at the house with your homegirls, and if one of the girls' boyfriends is coming through, you ain't gonna be chilling in the sports bra. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna throw on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just out of respect. And it's like, it's not even about being psycho jealous. It's about saying, you know what? I'm not even gonna put myself in this situation where anything can make anyone uncomfortable. I'm just being a good friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be walking around the house with the booty shorts on and, like, you know, a crop top. If your man is there, like, I'm gonna just take that into consideration. Yeah. And I'm probably gonna throw on the sweats. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Everybody's not the same, but I am that type of person, because I feel like, why even leave room for error? You know, like, it's one thing if you're hot. You probably have hot friends because you're hot, because hot people like each other. Like, it's just what it is. And I have gorgeous friends. I'm not even doubting that they're beautiful. And I'm sure that each one of our boyfriends must find one of their friends. You know, it is what it is. Somebody be like, yo, this one friend is bad. You know what I mean?
She's a bad bitch. And so let's just, you know, she gonna be cute. And I need to be cute because we're about to walk in the room with her. But she's still gonna be cuter.
She's, but it's not like she's gonna be naked. You know? Like, it's just like, it's
or you go to a club with friends, everyone's gonna be dressed really nice.
Exactly.
And you expect everyone to just respect each other, that everyone's looking great.
Exactly. And that's it. You know, and that's it. And it's just like, I think that that's where I have an issue with the new generation, because the new generation is like so like translucent and just free, and there's no labels and all this other shit. And it's like, no, homie. No, that shit doesn't work.
It doesn't work out in the real world. Now, do you think, see, that kind of gives me, there's another discussion to have of this. In the social media era, it kind of changes and shifts, right? With these boundaries that you're supposed to have within others' relationships. So like, if you follow my boyfriend, right? Or my boyfriend follows you, liking pictures is that new setting boundaries of things. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. I can see how it's uncomfortable if, like, your boyfriend is liking it way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see that. I understand.
Is it like certain pictures on the timeline as they're running, only certain ones should be liked as they're going? Because if you put up a booty picture, not that you're really gonna be putting up a booty picture, but if you put up a booty picture, right?
And all his boys is like flames.
Yeah, flames. Does your boyfriend put like still tap it because you need to get the like for the content to continue? Yeah. Or does he go by it? Like, I guess, and I think that settles within, and again, the girlfriend of the relationships, the level of trust that lives in.
Yeah, I that's a good question, because he might be liking like other booty pictures of like influencers, you know what I mean? And we don't have an issue with that because we look at it like, oh, that's an untouchable, you know? But is it like a problem when it's your friend? I think, you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I have more of an issue with the stories than like the timeline.
Well, no, now it's all shifted to stories, love.
Yes, because it's like so much more personal in the stories. So it's like, are you like the top 5 story watcher? Because then you start like, God damn, you're really paying a lot of fucking attention.
Yes, that is true. Tell me if my boyfriend ends up on your top 5 of stories.
Right? Like, that's concerning, because like, you know, you got that top 5. You got them people that they just
like,
watching.
Yes, I know y'all watching. I have to scroll to get to the ones that I don't know that we're watching.
Right. And then there's like a top 20, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then after that, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, if he's on that top 5, I feel like I would be concerned. I would be concerned.
Yeah.
I would.
I could see that. I could see that. It's just relationships in the social media era have just shifted so much that I don't probably know what to do with myself, I guess, in this era, because it's just
difficult.
changed
It's
a
difficult.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
It has really just kind of expanded in ways that I wouldn't even understand. And that's why Jordyn Woods got kind of caught up in this circumstance and situation, because social media was presently there and people got the story and, bring that out. And I guess the moral of everything is just knowing your limitations, knowing the boundaries that are set within your friendships, reminding yourself that there are boundaries with others and with, your friends, kind of what you're putting all on the line. Also, it could be that Jordyn and Tristan wanted to get the hell out of this family.
Okay, that's another angle. That's another angle.
I mean, he was already cheating in public. You are 6'10". You are 6'10", my friend, and you were at a club with the girl who's not even blonde, like your girlfriend.
It's hard for tall people to cheat. Yeah.
So it just doesn't make, like, you just want to be seen. Like, you want to be seen in that circumstance.
You're not with a regular person. You're with a person that their life is to be photographed. That's their life. Like
you're not in a regular situation. No. So being caught, it's like you're literally purposely putting yourself out there to be caught.
I think the best way to kind of wrap up this experience, just to like touch on the red table talk conversation. I appreciate that Jada looked out for her, like family. I did take it like it was like a chess move for Jada, in my opinion. I feel like her and Will Smith were tactful in this situation. And I think that even mentioning the hashtag at the end of the interview, I don't know if you noticed.
No, what was it?
It was like red talk or something, like a new hashtag that's gonna be like their thing. Brilliant, because it's like KKTW, whatever, is a huge hashtag. Yeah. So it's like I can't help but notice that this was great PR for you too. Like this is like gonna give you all kinds of ratings right now.
Red Table Talk, everyone logged on. I had people make Facebook accounts because they don't got Facebook to watch this interview.
Like, you can't deny that this was a good business move. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get that. I now feel like Jordyn's going to get her own reality show.
Oh.
I think that people are going to want to get to know Jordyn. I think that Jordyn actually ended up being more beautiful than I expected her to be. And I can truly mean that. Like, I was like, wow, this girl is a beautiful girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of like, we haven't been able to appreciate this because you've been in this bubble of these other girls.
We missed your own person that you are. We didn't get to see we never saw who she was. You just knew she was there.
Right.
You always wondered, like, who is this girl? What's happening? She never had her own shine.
Right. She can't shine. It's like the light is so bright that you can't shine. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that she wanted to shine, but it's like, I feel like she's going to get opportunities from this now.
Yeah.
I feel like she's now going to be more desired to get to know. I feel like I even felt a little bit more interested in who she was from watching this. So I think that this was a good move as far as business is concerned. All right, cool. Do I think that she was innocent in this situation? Not really. I don't. Like, I just don't. Like, if I'm gonna just keep it like as a woman, like, I just don't. I don't think that what you did was okay, and I think that it was kind of shitty. And even though you're using your young card, you're not a regular young person. Like,
yeah.
Like, you've been able to do whatever you want because your best friend's a fucking billionaire, and your dad was very rich. So it's like your life is not like all of ours. It's different.
Yeah.
Like, you've been an adult. So it's like, I don't know. It left a kind of a negative taste in my mouth because I didn't really like what she did. I didn't agree with her behavior. But I do agree with Jada in saying, let's not crucify this girl now when women have done way worse. Like, way worse. And it's like, I don't think she deserves to like now be like the slut of Hollywood. Like, no, I don't think she deserves that.
Yeah, I definitely see something in the future for Jordyn. She did, for unfortunately, her having to speak about this situation was the way we kind of learned about her more. So it's an unfortunate circumstance, but you can turn this around to be something better because you can tell she has potential. I mean, I've seen her when I shop online, she's the model for a lot of those things, right? So we know she does these things, but she's always been the Kylie's best friend. That's that girl that is her best friend. So this is, that if you break ties with all these people, you separate yourself from this. Now you can just be yourself, be Jordyn in that circumstance. And yes, we don't really put the age card on it that you're young and we do dumb things, but it is a growing and a learning lesson for the future in the long run. And I don't think she deserves that label of being, I mean, we've seen other people who probably need the label in different, of that circumstance, right? Or different circumstances than that. But I don't think she was in the wrong place, wrong people, wrong everything. Going home is always the best option in all of this. Very interesting. And I do hope this is not the reality, the PR stunt for everyone to watch the new season. We see all those things. And we appreciate online internet to kind of bring back all the old history that other people have done as they're shaming this girl and showing all the things that Kardashians have done to their own friends as well in the past, because they've lost a lot of friends for them being with men that they were their friends' men. It's not the first time. We've seen the Lauren London story, the Trina story. This is all has this old history. So all of it's just, again, I remember myself in some of those shoes at the age of 20-something, making poor decisions, not like this, but just poor decisions. And hopefully it's just all learning lessons and growth from here.
For sure. I'm not judging Jordyn for this personally.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I appreciate hearing her side of the story. I'm glad she didn't sleep with him because, it's really hard to come back from that. And I really hope that Khloe doesn't get back with Tristan.
Yeah, I think he's kind of shown his character and what he is and who he is. I think
it's time for you to believe him, Khloe.
Yeah, we believe him and we don't know him.
Yeah. He has shown you who he is. Please believe him.
On and off the court, we know exactly what he do.
Yeah, exactly.
And half of Hollywood knows too. But with that being said, I mean, it was a great, by the way, Red Table Talk always has some great gems, always has some fantastic, Jada Pinkett, her mom, really have some elevated conversations that you sometimes be like, can I talk to my mom about this? Some really amazing things. And Willow, being as young as she is and being very mature for her age, is very interesting to watch also. You'd be like, I was never this thoughtful at this, but I guess you grow up differently. You absorb.
Yeah, and Jada is such a strong woman. It's I just really admire that about her. She's a very strong woman. Yes. I like that so much about her. I admire women that can just speak their truth.
Yeah, with no shame.
No shame.
No shame. And it's out there for the world, the public, everyone see it. You just put it out there. And you can see that they live separate lives as families in a sense. Her and her husband, this. It's very separate, but still together. And I like that. I like how they just maneuver themselves.
They're individuals and very much
fully individual. Yes, I love that. But we want to know your thoughts on this whole situation, the Red Table Talk, the tweets, the cheating scandals, your past history. If you have something or something to share that may have if something like this similar happened to you.
Yeah.
And even just social media and relationships. We want to know your thoughts. Comment on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram, email us. We want to know your thoughts more on this. I think it'd be great to know.
And from time to time, we're going to bring up social conversations like this because regardless of how much we want to act like we're above this, social media is a really big part of our lives, a really big part of our lives. It has shifted culture in such a dramatic way. And we have to acknowledge that and speak on it sometimes because these are the only ways that sometimes we can trigger conversations in regards to some of these subject matters. Because unless we had an example to refer to expand on the conversation, sometimes these conversations will never take place, especially in the day where the art of conversation is being lost because people are always texting. So it's like, you know, it triggers thought, it triggers opinion. And even though you may not always agree or like it, it's part of society.
Yeah. It's a part of society for sure. And now, do we have a recommendation of the week?
I don't have a recommendation, but I do have a shout out. Okay,
go for it.
The reason I'm gonna have a shout out for this specific episode is because 2 people that I love are having babies.
Yay!
And I'm so happy. A very, very dear friend of mine in New York City, Archie and Liz, congratulations. I love you guys. I'm so excited.
Yay!
And also to my future sister-in-law and future brother-in-law, Zuli and Jose. You guys are having a baby. And that was such a beautiful experience. And my recommendation is love someone this week because it feels nice to see love.
Yes, keep conceiving babies in the winter. Ain't nothing else to do. That's the way I see it. These snows, being snowed in will make you.
It happens. It happens. Just like hurricane season, guys. It's coming.
Keep getting snowed in. Congratulations to those beautiful couples. Amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful blessing. My recommendation of the week, it is a beauty product. And I usually just go to a drugstore or just pick up random things and pick up things and try. I found this mascara that I've been obsessed with. That's been amazing. It's called Voluminous Lash Paradise. I even have it in my hand.
By who?
Oh, who makes this? L'Oreal.
Oh, okay. You know what? I like L'Oreal mascara. I believe you. Yeah, I think
this is fire. This is amazing. It looks like you have lashes on. Like it does.
Is that what you have on now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Your lashes are good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So shout out to drugstore fucking makeup.
Drugstore makeup, because I've bought $30 mascara before in my life.
As have I. I should be drying up. I'm like, this should
dries up fast.
Yeah.
And for a little bit of like $11, maybe as much, you can get some really good mascara that really lasts long. And the waterproof is no joke.
Yeah, it's like even hard to take off.
It's harder to take off.
Yeah.
You're afraid of you losing eye. So
yeah,
that is my recommendation of the week. A little beauty recommendation for
Show it for those who are watching so they can see it.
One more time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's pretty too. It's a nice packaging. And that's a millennial thing where you're obsessed with packaging.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
and we love like opening things like, oh wow.
I love the whole, I think that's part of the social media too. We'll continue that conversation, but packaging has a lot to do with social media.
Yeah.
And so that was another episode of Fresh Mondays. Do we have any special announcements?
April 6th, it starts with a vision. Make sure to come through, everybody, in Miami. It's going to be amazing. I will be announcing additional information regarding that. It starts with a vision on Eventbrite. Please get your tickets. And follow us on Fresh Mondays podcast on Instagram. Please follow myself at I am Diana I'm sorry, why I keep messing up my own name? I am Diana C _ and please follow my business page at Show Me Productions, SHOMI Productions.
All right, and you can follow me at Love Marley, LUVMARLEY _ and you can email us at freshmondayspodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, or want to be a guest on the show. We have a lot of amazing guests set up for you guys in the next coming weeks, so we are excited for that. So
very excited.
Make
and
sure
before
you are subscribed.
We forget, guys, this is dropping on Marley's birthday. Hey. It's officially her birthday, guys. So everybody who listens to this episode, please say happy birthday. Put it on the stories. Comment below. Happy birthday, Marley. Hey,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and have a great Monday.